Okay, let's unpack this. For anyone really pushing the limits with home theaters or maybe professional venues, even complex AV setups and offices, you know the challenge, right? Managing all those different screens, different sources, high resolution, it gets complicated fast. You're wrestling with routing signals, making sure everything talks to each other properly, needing instant control without any glitches. It often feels like that dream setup hits a wall of, well, compatibility headaches and just plain awkward setups. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a piece of tech that's really designed to be the command center for exactly that kind of thing. We're talking about the WolfPack 4K 60Hz 8x8 HDMI Matrix Switcher.
Right. And our mission here is to really get under the hood, understand how this device acts like the central brain for all your video and audio, how it makes these really complex setups feel, well, almost simple. And we'll uncover some surprising capabilities, stuff that goes way beyond just basic switching. The idea is to equip you, the listener, with the knowledge to truly master your multimedia environment, whether that's, a high-end home cinema or maybe a dynamic professional space.
Okay, so to kick things off, maybe a simple analogy helps paint the picture here. Imagine you're directing a huge live show. You've got, say, 8 cameras rolling, capturing everything, and you need to send those feeds to 8 different screens, maybe some for the crew backstage, some for the audience out front. You might even need the same camera on multiple screens at once. How do you manage all that? Instantly, perfectly, no delays, no stutters. That's basically what an HDMI Matrix Switcher gives you, that kind of dynamic real-time control.
That's a really good way to visualize it, actually. So the WolfPack 8x8, it's a pre-configured system. It's an integrated HDMI video and audio modular setup. Its core job, routing any of its 8 inputs to any of its 8 outputs. But what's really key here is the flexibility. You can send, like you said, the same input to lots of different outputs at the same time. So pretty much any combination you can think of.
And just to give a sense of where this fits in, this isn't your typical consumer gadget you pick up off the shelf, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about a pretty robust, professional-grade piece of kit built for demanding situations. You can kind of tell that from its features: advanced scaling, separate audio handling, even video walls. We'll get into all that.
Exactly. So let's dig into some of those standout features, the things that really make this powerful for managing these complex AV worlds. First off, the switching speed. It's fast, like lightning fast. The spec says fast 100-meter switching speed. Now, what does that actually mean for you? It means zero downtime when you switch. No more annoying black screens or blue screens or those weird split-second glitches. Just a clean, instant cut from one source to the next.
Okay, that's huge, isn't it? I mean, I've seen setups where even a tiny flicker when switching sources can totally wreck a presentation or, pull you right out of a movie. So for something like a live event or a critical meeting, maybe even competitive gaming, that 100-meter speed sounds, well, essential.
Absolutely non-negotiable in those cases.
Yeah.
Then there's the design itself. It's modular. And that really helps with reliability and flexibility. It uses a 2U modular chassis, right? With this configurable backplane inside. Think of it like a main board where you plug in the input and output cards. It comes set up with 2 4-port HDMI input cards and 2 4-port HDMI output cards. That gives you the 8x8. Now, the big advantage here, let's say something goes wrong. You lose signal on one port. You just swap out that single card, not the whole expensive unit.
Oh, okay.
Plus, these cards are hot pluggable.
Hot pluggable, so you can swap them while it's running.
Exactly. You can change a card while the system is live, which is, a massive plus for places that need 24/7 uptime. Think mission critical.
That hot swap feature sounds incredibly useful. Does that modular approach also make setting it up easier initially, or is it mainly for the long haul, for maintenance?
It's mostly about the long term, yeah. Maintenance, troubleshooting. It makes that much simpler. But I guess the clear layout probably helps installers during setup too. And building on that reliability theme is its video quality support. It's fully up to date. We're talking 4K at 60 Hz, HDMI 2.0, and importantly, HDCP 2.3.
Right, the copy protection stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That HDCP compliance is crucial for making sure it plays nice with all your modern gear. Your DirecTV box, Fire Sticks, Apple TVs, cable boxes, all that stuff ensures the high-quality signal passes through without issues.
Okay, now here's where, for me anyway, it gets really interesting, especially if you need super fine control over everything. Let's talk about the audio and the scaling. It mentions separate embedded audio in and de-embedded audio out. Can you maybe break down like a real-world example where that kind of audio control would be a lifesaver?
Sure. Think about maybe a presentation or a bar setting. You might have video coming from, let's say, a laptop for the presentation visuals, but you want background music playing from a completely separate source, maybe a dedicated music player or streaming device.
Okay.
This feature lets you take that external audio, plug it into the 3.5mm input on the HDMI input card, and essentially embed it or marry it to that video stream. Then, on the output side, going to your speakers or sound system, you can de-embed that combined audio HDMI output card.
Ah, I see.
It gives you huge flexibility. You're not just stuck with the audio that comes with the video source. You can mix and match, route it independently.
Yeah.
It's powerful creative control.
That is a level of control that, yeah, a lot of setups could really use. And it doesn't stop there, right? The hardware scaling. It mentions DIP switches on each card.
That's right. Little 8-pin DIP switches on each input and output card. These let you manually set the scaling, upscaling, or downscaling, so you can choose from multiple resolution settings. This helps ensure compatibility if you have, say, a 4K source, but maybe an older 1080p display connected, or vice versa.
Making sure everything displays correctly, basically.
Exactly, and that ties directly into EDID management.
EDID, Extended Display Identification Data.
Yep, that's the one. Managing EDID is so important for getting the best performance between your source and your screen. What the WolfPack does here is it has sophisticated EDID management that basically tells the video source, like your graphics card or player, hey, this display connected prefers this specific resolution and refresh rate. It optimizes the output.
Okay.
And this is often the secret sauce that fixes those really frustrating problems you sometimes see. Like the screen just goes black, or it flashes intermittently, or you get weird snow, or maybe the colors are off, purples and reds showing up where they should.
Ah, I've seen that, the
Yeah.
purple tint issue.
Right. EDID issues are often the culprit. This system helps sort that out. And what's incredibly useful is its ability to handle situations where you're mixing gear, like connecting a source that doesn't have HDCP copy protection to a TV that requires it, or the other way around. It can often navigate those handshake issues, which can be a massive headache in complex setups.
Just getting things to work together, especially with that mixed HDCP stuff, yeah, that alone sounds like a huge problem solver. So beyond making sure the signal is perfect, this thing unlocks some cool visual stuff too, right? Video walls.
Indeed it does. It actually has a video wall processor built right in.
Built in. Wow.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily need a separate dedicated video wall controller for simpler setups. You could, for example, take 4 standard TVs and arrange them in a 2x2 grid. And the Matrix can process the signal to display one single large image across all 4 screens.
Like one giant TV.
Exactly. Or you could still show 4 individual separate pictures on those 4 screens if you wanted. It gives you options. There's even an optional card, an HDMI multi-viewer quad view card, that lets you show 4 different video sources on one single large display.
Ah, like picture-in-picture, but 4 sources.
Kind of, yeah. Picture by picture, usually. Now, one small caveat. You get lots of control over image size and color adjustments when you're just using it in standard Matrix mode. But those specific tweaks aren't available when you're using the dedicated video wall function. Just something to be aware of.
Okay, good to know.
It also lets you save configurations. You can save and recall up to 16 preset scenes. Super handy if you have recurring setups, like for different types of events in a venue or different viewing modes at home. Just recall the preset.
Quick changes. Nice.
Yeah. And just touching on reliability again, it has a redundant power supply option. So 2 power supplies. If one fails, the other keeps it running. Plus, the cooling fan uses quiet, oil-sealed bearings, and it's designed to be easy to replace if needed. They also put it through some pretty rigorous testing, like a 5-step process, including 24 hours of aging to ensure it's solid for continuous use.
Okay, so it sounds robust, flexible, but what about controlling it all? If you've got this complex setup, how easy is it to manage? Sounds like this is really a control powerhouse. That seems key. You've got a whole bunch of ways to control it, right?
No, yeah, tons of options.
Physically, you can just use the buttons on the front panel, which is always good for quick access, or there's a standard IR remote control included.
Right.
Then software-wise, you mentioned a Web GUI, so you can control it from a web browser on your network.
Exactly. Just log in through your browser. And there are also dedicated apps for iOS, so iPad, iPhone, even iPod Touch, and also for Android phones and tablets.
So lots of ways to control it directly. What about integrating it into bigger systems, like smart home automation?
Yep, covered there too. It's got the standard RS-232 serial port and also TCP/IP ports for network control.
So it plays well with the big automation systems.
It does. They actually provide specific drivers for a lot of the popular platforms.
Yeah.
You know, Crestron, Control4, Elon, RTI, URC, those big names in home and commercial automation. Makes integration much more straightforward for installers working with those systems.
Okay, so it can slot right into those high-end setups.
Absolutely. And what's really cool for the pros, the really experienced AV integrators, they can even write their own custom control drivers using a pretty simple RS-232 script. The command structure is straightforward, like the example they give. I buy one at 8 and 16. That simple command tells the Matrix to switch input number 8, so it shows up on output 1, output 8, and output 16 simultaneously.
Wow, that's very direct. X, input and output dot.
Yep, simple, powerful control for those who need custom integration.
All these different ways to control it really just highlights how versatile this WolfPack system is. You can see why it ends up in so many different places. Like you mentioned, sports bars managing maybe a dozen direct TV receivers going to loads of TVs, but also sophisticated home theaters, corporate boardrooms, classrooms. It really seems to adapt wherever you need that flexible, high-quality AV switching and distribution.
Definitely. And one last thing worth mentioning is the support that comes with it. It includes a 2-year advanced replace warranty, so if something does go wrong, they send a replacement out quickly, and free lifetime technical support, which is, pretty comprehensive phone, chat, text, email.
That's good peace of mind for a critical piece of infrastructure like this. Okay, so to wrap things up then, the WolfPack 8x8 HDMI Matrix Switcher, it's clearly way more than just a simple connection box. It's really acting as an intelligent command center, giving you that seamless, high-quality video and audio distribution, tons of control options, and that robust reliability you need for complex setups. It really is the brain of the operation.
Absolutely. And I think this deep dive really shows how you can quickly get a solid grasp on what makes this kind of sophisticated AV tech tick. It's about understanding not just the features, but the why behind them, how they translate into real power and control over your media.
So here's something to think about. Considering the sheer flexibility and that level of precise control a system like this offers, what kind of video or audio setups, maybe things you thought were impossible before, could you now imagine bringing to life in your own space? How could this help you truly master your media?